Ilene, sung by the Winnipeg Philharmonic Choir. You're listening to Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak, and it was 100 years ago in the month of December that the Winnipeg Philharmonic was born, making them Western Canada's longest established adult choral group with a well-earned reputation for excellence. To begin their centennial celebration, they present Christmas with the Phil this Sunday at St. Boniface Cathedral. And to hear more, I'm joined by Maestro Yuri Claus and Board President Glynis Corkle. Good to see you both this chilly morning.
Good morning, Simon.
Good morning, Simon.
Well, it's so lovely to see you. And 100 years, an incredible milestone. Congratulations on the achievement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And let me say, happy Winnipeg Philharmonic Choir Week as well. Glynis, can you tell us more about that, the choir week that it is?
Well, the choir week that it is, we're just so thrilled to be celebrating 100 years, kicking it off with this concert on Sunday. And we've got alumni joining us, as well as the Winnipeg Boys Choir, who also came out of the Men's Musical Club. And, of course, musicians coming from across the city to celebrate with us. The fun part about some of the alumni is we've got people coming in from Calgary and Canmore.
Wow.
That will be singing with us. And they've been, they were members back when I started in the late 80s. So it'll be fun to see some of them again.
Well, I definitely want to chat more about that. But yes, this a very big week proclaimed by the province of Manitoba, in fact, as the Winnipeg Philharmonic Choir Week. Yuri, you've been with the Phil for nearly a quarter of its existence. You came on board in the year 2000. What are you thinking about during this momentous time for the choir?
Well, Simon, I've been working with choirs all my life, and you can imagine that a few of them celebrated some kind of anniversaries. I've been in 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, but 100, it's the first time. And yes, you're right, I'm 2 years shy of being conductor of this wonderful choir for 25 years. That's also quite an achievement, I must say.
Mm-hmm. It certainly is. Yeah. And I mean, there must be so many fond memories for you thinking back on the 23 years over your tenure.
Oh, my first concert.
tell us more about that.
Well, it was like, was it 2 weeks for my arrival or something like that? It was crazy.
Soon after you got there. Yeah.
Yeah. It must have been an absolute whirlwind. And here you are since. Yes. What a tenure it's been. Glynis, you mentioned how long you've been singing with the Phil. Yep. Remind us again, when did you join the choir?
I joined the choir in 1989.
1989. So what has it meant to you over your years singing?
The opportunity to make the kind of music that we've made, people have asked me, what have been the highlights? There's so many. But in addition to the amazing music we've been able to sing and the places we've been able to sing it, Carnegie Hall, I had the opportunity to be there. That was just pre-Yuri, but I know before I joined the choir had performed at Expo 86 as well. But some of the friendships, the people that I get to make music with week in and week out are amongst some of my best friends now. And we've got memories of, carols that we've sung, and even Yuri can even talk to some of the things that we've gotten wrong year in and year out. And now we joke about them. Luke's Eternal, he'll remember that one. And some of our favorite pieces of music, like Ode to Joy is always a fun piece to do. We're doing the Brahms coming up in April, and that's a favorite one of mine. So many favorite pieces that we get to do and over again. So I wouldn't keep coming week in and week out for 4 years.
Yours one of countless stories. And I'm not sure if there's any idea how many singers there have been over the 100 years, but I don't think it would be an exaggeration to say well over 1,000 singers have probably performed with the Winnipeg Philharmonic. Thinking back on 100 years of performance opportunity, it really is an incredible achievement. I'm really curious about this anniversary choir that you talked about, because you must be reminiscing, you must be reconnecting. You mentioned just how far people are coming from to be a part of this initiative. Can you tell us more about the alumni choir?
Well, so there's about 28 or 29 people who have joined us. A few people that I haven't met before, so they were in the choir well before me. Some who life has just taken them in different directions in their family and careers and whatnot, and so they've come back, and it's been just a joy to reconnect and find out what they've been doing. Some of them are singing in other choirs now because their schedules and whatnot, but they still decided that the Phil meant enough to them to come back and celebrate with us, which has just been such a treat.
Yuri, can you tell us about the current makeup of the Winnipeg Philharmonic Choir? How many singers are there this year?
Well, this year is about 50.
That's a good number.
Oh, yes.
But
it's
I
a
know
good
the
number.
Winnipeg Philharmonic can swell to, 100 singers at times too, right?
Yes, we do. Well, we have a nice list of our associate members who we hoping will join us for the Brahms's Requiem and for the Rachmaninoff's Vespers in May. But at this time, 50 during the or after, hopefully I say after the pandemic, it's a pretty good number.
Yeah, it's a very good number of singers, and it's going to be very powerful for the audience. You mentioned, just how many singers are coming together for this, and in addition to being the first concert in this 100th anniversary year, it's also the first concert of the season. So everyone must be so excited to get together and to sing, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
What's it been like for you to be back in front of the Winnipeg Philharmonic conducting?
Well, pandemic. For 2 years, I've been sitting in my basement doing something which I was not ever trained to do, trying to make virtual choirs. I do live choirs, not virtual. It's been a pretty tough year for me. I'm sure for many other musicians. But I'm so glad that we are back on stage, and we had our first concert in May. It was like a trial, and it went very well, very well attended in terms of, like, people came and they were really enjoying it. And I was looking to this December 11th because we were kind of, well, I must say, worried what's going to happen or not, and because it is happening. And as a matter of fact, this December 11, 1922 was the first. It was the day of the first concert. And what a coincidence! Like on December 11, 2022, we're having our celebration of the 100th anniversary. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it really is, and it was one of those things I definitely wanted to touch on. The fact that of all the days, it could have been it's exactly 100 years to the date.
Yeah.
It just makes it even more special. There's some very special music that's going to be on the program as well, including a commission piece by Leonard Enns. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, of course. Celebration, what you do with celebrations, you look in the past, you see what you do in present, and you look into the future. So the program actually reflects all this. We found in archives the first program of the choir of 1922 printed in newspaper.
Wow.
And from this program, we've decided to choose a couple pieces which we are performing, and this is Your Look into the Past. And that would be Blessing, Glory, and Wisdom and Thanks by, actually not Bach, as it was listed in that program, attributed to Bach. Apparently it was written by his student, George Wagner. And then the composer from Finland, Selim Palmgren, wrote a nice choral miniature called The Swing. And so that was performed 100 years ago.
Wow, incredible.
For this concert also, you mentioned we have some commissions, which is very important for any choirs, and to do commissions and to encourage young composers and encourage established composers to create new works. And so that was the idea, that we will commission to one of Canadian composers, and we chose Leonard Enns, who is from Manitoba, and Leonard is an amazing composer and conductor, and he created a lot of choirs during his life. He conducts now the Da Kappa Chamber Choir, award-winning choir, so the obvious choice to me. And amazing piece he wrote called For Love of Music. We specifically sort of asked him to come up, like we asked him about the not ask, but rather, we'll ask him. Sorry.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's too early for me. It's
No,
in the
I
morning.
can sympathize.
To write a composition on the idea of how the music impacts our lives.
Right.
And Leonard chose the Leonard chose the poem by Patricia Orr from Toronto, and it's basically shows how music impacts our lives and how powerful the music is, and we cannot, excuse me, we cannot live our lives without music. So, and this is our commission to learn original composition by him. But we also have two other commissions. What we've decided to do is to approach two rather younger composers, Dan Weeb and Kenley Christopherson, and we ask them to arrange two Christmas carols for that concert. They're absolutely beautiful, both.
Yeah. I'm sure they are. Two great writers. And I mean, like you say, this is a program that acknowledges where the Winnipeg Philharmonic has come from, where they're at and where they're going. And I think that ties nicely into a fellow collaborator, the Winnipeg Boys Choir, as you mentioned earlier, Glennis, sort of looking to the future that way, right?
Absolutely. We always actually at Christmas have purposefully tried to involve a younger choir for that reason. We want to showcase the young singers, let them be exposed to a group of adult singers so that they can see, hey, I can do this my whole life, and showcase to the audiences the future of music. So the Winnipeg Boys Choir was pretty much a natural. We've collaborated with them before many times, and they have grown out of the Men's Musical Club, which was the start of the Phil as well. And they're celebrating their 98th anniversary this year, so they're right behind us.
Yeah, they're coming up on 100. I mean, it is a very, very exciting time. 100 years of the Winnipeg Philharmonic. Christmas with the Phil coming up this Sunday, December 11th, exactly 100 years to the date from their first ever show. There's two chances to check out the program, 3 p.m., 7 p.m. at St. Boniface Cathedral. More details up at classic107.com under the events tab or thephil.ca. Thank you both for joining me this frigid morning. And we're going to end with a little bit of music, another selection from the Winnipeg Philharmonic Choir. I know this one isn't for you, but we're going to pretend that it is. This is the Birthday Carol to end off this conversation. Good seeing you both.
Nice to see you. Thanks, Simon.
Nice to see you, Simon. Thank you.